how to overcome loneliness, social isolation, laziness, and even depression. You see, there's certain things that happens in your brain when when you're having this kind of thought, and it's usually you think about yourself. And boredom is one of the biggest things, especially right here, that I've seen in the United States, because in other countries you don't really have that problem. But what I've noticed, especially here with the elderly, there's a lot of problems when it comes to loneliness. And one of the things that I see around is, people have been busy all their lives. From their working years, they've been busy doing their jobs, taking care of their family, and maybe caring for kids or other responsibilities. And now, at the retirement age, they don't have anything that they look forward to. Now, I've taken care of a lot of patients, and I see this with a lot of patients. And one of the things that I see is, like when I come in their homes, and one of the things that they really do is they like to communicate, like they like to talk, just normal talk about things. And I feel when, let's say, my shift is over, I feel a sense of they want me to they either stay longer, or they're just looking for somebody to just kind of chit chat with. And when I explain to them, like, ways for them to get themselves busy, like, we come up with a game plan, like, this is the kind of things that you can do to get yourself busy, to seek connection with other human beings and stuff like that. When we talk about it, they think it's a great idea, but then when I leave, they don't do it, and then they still find themselves lonely. I've even seen cases where people have thoughts. I mean, I haven't had anybody actually go ahead. I've seen people even have thoughts of, like, committing suicide, like, man, maybe I shouldn't live here anymore, you know. And it usually comes with really the real isolation and loneliness, and then having other couple of adding to their family problems too, just makes them feel worthless, like they used to be valued. It just the thing with all human beings, at some point in your life you feel like a high value person, high powered person, and it happens to everybody, so it's not something that you can run away from. So at what point would you, like, get up and then start doing something towards continue becoming a valuable person, continue becoming like a useful person, a person that people want to seek knowledge from, they want to be around? Because one of the problems that I really notice with this kind of stuff is, at their youthful age, most elderly at their youthful age, they did not they did not, like, pay attention to what really matters in life. So their value, the value that they brought, came from their job. That's all I'm saying. So you're gonna have something that is outside of your job, something you look forward to. It could be a hobby, it just could be something that you like doing, and just doing it for the sake of being a part of your community development, or growth. That's the right word. So anyways, so yeah, things that, if you're watching this, that you can kind of do to kind of help yourself, start early. If you're watching this and you're in, let's say, in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, this is a good time. You wanna have your job, but then you wanna have also something that you look forward to contributing to your community. And one of the ways that you can start is, first of all, if you're lonely or you're lazy, you can start by acknowledging the fact that you're lonely and you're lazy. And you know how you know this? If you have company and you want to keep them longer than they should, if, let's say, you randomly check in your neighbor's house, or maybe you see your neighbor or the person just going down the street or passing, and then you want to keep them longer in a conversation. That's when you know you're either lonely or isolated, or maybe you're on the phone a lot. That gets boring too after a while. Or you just feel lazy. You just don't feel like getting up, or doing anything. So that is a form of laziness. So acknowledge the fact, accept the fact that, okay, yeah, I'm lonely. That's because people, they don't even know they're lonely. They don't even know they're in social isolation. And then the second thing is you seek connection. So you gotta deliberately seek connection. You can't just sit at home and then expect, or you see someone down the street, maybe they're going somewhere. Seek connection. The best place to seek connection that I know of is the public library. Because if you're in the pub, they have activities from kids to elderly. So they have all these activities. They have a whole program. So it could be the library, it could be a recreational center, it could be YMCA, and they have senior centers too. And over here in Las Vegas, we have Doolittle. So purposely seek connection. Number two. And then the third thing is you have to volunteer. So if you're like in the medical field, you've been working your whole life, so you have to volunteer in a hospital. If you worked at Walmart, you can volunteer at Walmart. You can volunteer in the community, doing little things, answering phone calls for big companies. They need people to help, and then establish a routine. So what time you get up, what time you go to bed, what are the things you'll be doing that day, stuff like that. And then practice mindfulness. So I'm missing a step. So after you volunteer, before you establish a routine, whatever you've learned, try to teach others about that. Because because the fastest way to be valuable is teaching other people something that you know, or you've learned, or you have an experience about. And then the next part now is practice mindfulness. So you could be journaling, you could meditation. Now this stuff sounds cliche, but if you want to be a high power person, this is the kind of stuff that you can do, and you can start on a small scale. And then always reach out for support. Now you can go to the library or your state community resources and just kind of find out how you can learn. That's how they can connect you with a mentor or like a coach or somebody, and it's usually free, and that's the best way to start out. Or you can just hire a mentor yourself, or you can pay for a coaching program. Those are the kind of things. That's how you gain knowledge. You go back now to the first step, which is to acknowledge your feelings, and then seek connection, and then volunteer, teach others, and then practice mindfulness, and then reach out for support. It could be a coach or stuff like that. So that's the best way I know of to overcome laziness and social isolation. Listen, if you want to learn this kind of stuff, go ahead and book a call with me, and I'll see you on the other page. Talk soon. Bye.